Hello everyone, welcome to sqadia.com. Today our lecture topic is the sense organs and we are on the second section of our lecture topic, that is the sense of smell and taste. In this section we will be covering this olfactory pathway and how the sense of smell is actually taken to our cortex for its review and assessment, and then we will be discussing the gustatory pathway and how the actually different papillae in the tongue carry the sensations back to our or this gustatory cortex. The receptors for smell or the olfaction are the chemoreceptors that detect vaporized chemicals that have been sniffed into the upper nasal cavities. When stimulated by vapor molecules, the olfactory receptors generate impulses carried by the olfactory nerves through the ethmoid bone to the olfactory bulbs. The pathway for these impulses ends in the olfactory areas of the temporal lobe, that is the primary lateral cortex of the sensation. Now, this is an example here. The vapors are coming over there in the nostrils, there's a mucous membrane. They stimulate these olfactory cells. Once they are stimulated from these impulses are actually carried through the sieve-like plate of the ethmoid called the cribriform plate of the ethmoid. Then behind this cribriform plate there's a large collection of neurons called an olfactory bulb, and from there the synapses occur. The second order neurons takes all the way to the lateral or primary olfactory cortex of the temporal lobe. Then there is secondary olfactory cortex as well, which is going to the anteriorly as well. Some fibers are going to the secondary olfactory cortex of the opposite side, and so some are coming to the primary side as well. So that's how actually the sensations are being carried out from the nose or in the nostrils to the olfactory cortex. Vapors may stimulate many combinations of receptors, and it has been estimated that human brain is capable of distinguishing among 10,000 different neurons or scents. Dogs, for example, have a sense of smell about 2,000 times more accurate than the people. Although we can also detect a lot, but just considering, for example, certain other animals, for example, dog, they have way more potential as compared to the human beings. Coming to the sense of taste now, the receptors for the taste are found in the taste buds, most of which are the papillae in the tongue. I will be discussing in detail the different types of papillae which are present on the tongue. These are the chemoreceptors. For example, why they are called the chemoreceptors? Because they detect different chemicals, and once the chemicals combine with the receptors, this result in increased action potential and firing of the neurons. There are 5 general types of taste receptors. For example, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savory. Savory is also called as umami or glutamic. Is a taste like a grilled meat. We experience many more different tastes, however, because the foods are often complex, chemicals that stimulate different combination of receptors. The sense of smell also contributes our perception of food. The impulses from taste buds are transmitted by the facial and glossopharyngeal nerves to the taste areas of the parietal and temporal cortex. So there is mainly gustatory cortex is mainly the gustatory cortex of insular cortex that is lying in mainly the parietal temporal lobe area. Now this is on the left side, you can appreciate a diagram which is actually defining what are the different areas. There's a posteriorly, there's the bitter area. Usually that part of the tongue mainly detects the bitter taste. On the posterior laterally, it's salty. Anterior laterally, it's sour. On the tip of the tongue, we can usually recognize sweet, and the middle part mainly it is the umami. Now, if you see it over here, there are 4 different types of papillae, which are actually called the sense organ which are detecting taste. And on the tip, usually there is a filiform. In the center, there is a fungiform papillae, and then on the lateral side or edges there are foliate papillae, and then at the border of it as a circumvallate papillae. Now, if you see it over here, this is a classical example of a single papilla, that there is contains cells, the basal cells which are actually connected to the form a neuron eventually, and on the end they are hair-like projections. Once the chemical comes over here, these hair are stimulated and impulses are transmitted from these cells to this neuron. Eventually they all combine to form a track of and taken to the medulla oblongata and pons, where the nuclei of the glossopharyngeal and facial nerve are present, which are involved in the gustatory pathway. Now, this is an example of a gustatory pathway that from these circumvallate and filiform and fungiform papillae, all the senses are actually carried to the brainstem, where in the medulla oblongata as well as the pons, and from there onward they're carried to the thalamus, and second degree neurons are carrying to the thalamus. From there it goes into the insular cortex, which is in the parieto-temporal lobe, called insular cortex, from the gustatory cortex, by which we can taste things. By this, we have come to the end of the second section, in which we have discussed the sense of smell, how it is actually detected and produced, and what is the olfaction pathway or olfactory pathway. Then we have briefly discussed what are the different taste areas of the tongue, what are different papillae which are present on the tongue, and how their role, what is their role in formation of gustatory pathway in our body. Thank you very much. Keep watching sqadia.com.